Genghis Khan, a name that reverberates through the annals of history, evoking both admiration and dread. The name still echoes with a mix of awe and terror across Asia, a region forever marked by his legacy. Born Temujin, this nomadic warrior united the Mongol tribes and carved out an empire the world had never seen. His rise from a humble background to the ruler of the largest contiguous empire in history is nothing short of legendary. From the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, the Mongol Empire sprawled, a testament to their military might and strategic brilliance. The vastness of their territory was unparalleled, stretching across diverse landscapes and cultures. Genghis Khan, the oceanic ruler, became synonymous with conquest. His name struck fear into the hearts of many, as his armies swept across nations with relentless force. Yet one region remained untouched by his horse's hooves: India. Despite their unstoppable momentum, the Mongols never managed to penetrate the Indian subcontinent. This begs the question, why did this seemingly unstoppable force never conquer the riches of the Indian subcontinent? Was it the formidable natural barriers, the fierce resistance of Indian kingdoms, or perhaps strategic decisions made by the Mongol leaders? Was it fear, respect, or something else entirely? The interactions between the Mongols and the Indian subcontinent were complex, involving diplomacy, trade, and occasional skirmishes. The answer, like most things in history, is complex and multifaceted. It involves a blend of geographical challenges, political dynamics, and the unique cultural landscape of India. Understanding this enigma requires delving deep into the historical context and the myriad factors at play. India, geographically, is a fortress. Towering mountains guard her northern borders. The Himalayas, the highest mountain range on Earth, stand as a formidable wall. These icy peaks, treacherous passes, and unpredictable weather have deterred many an invader. Even the most seasoned Mongol warriors accustomed to the harsh steppes would have found the Himalayas a daunting challenge. But the mountains were not the only obstacle. Dense jungles and swift rivers crisscrossed the land. These natural barriers presented logistical nightmares for an army dependent on speed and maneuverability. The Mongols, masters of the open plains, would have found their tactics stifled by the Indian terrain. The Mongol army was a cavalry force. Their strength lay in their horses, hardy, swift, and accustomed to long distances. The Indian landscape, however, posed a significant logistical challenge. The dense forests and narrow passes would have slowed down their movements, negating their strategic advantage. Moreover, supplying a vast army across such a diverse and challenging terrain would have been a Herculean task. The Mongols, used to living off the land, would have found it difficult to sustain themselves in the unfamiliar Indian environment. The terrain itself would have been a formidable adversary. While India remained a tempting prize, Genghis Khan's attention was divided. The Mongol Empire, vast and ever-expanding, demanded his constant attention. Rebellions, skirmishes, and conquests on multiple fronts required his strategic planning and military leadership. The Khwarezmian Empire, a powerful kingdom to the west, posed a significant threat and became a major focus for Genghis Khan. His pursuit of the Khwarezmian Shah, as we shall see, brought him to the edges of India but never across the border. A land divided the political landscape of India. India at the time was not a unified entity. It was a patchwork of kingdoms, large and small, often at war with each other. This political fragmentation, while seemingly advantageous for an invader, presented its own set of challenges. While some rulers might have chosen to submit to the Mongol Empire, others would have fiercely resisted. This lack of a unified response would have forced the Mongols into a protracted and costly campaign of subjugation. Genghis Khan, a pragmatic leader, likely recognized the complexities of conquering a divided land. The Indus River Incident, a close call. The year was 1221, a time of great upheaval and relentless conquests. Genghis Khan, the formidable leader of the Mongol Empire, was in hot pursuit of the fleeing Khwarezmian Shah Jalal ad-Din. His relentless chase brought him to the banks of the Indus River, the western frontier of the Indian subcontinent. This marked the closest the Mongols ever came to invading India during Genghis Khan's lifetime. The Indus River stood as a natural barrier, a line that the Mongol forces had never crossed. Jalal ad-Din, desperate and cornered, fled across the river into India. He sought refuge and assistance from the Delhi Sultanate, hoping for an alliance against the Mongol threat. The Sultan of Delhi, however, was cautious. He understood the might of the Mongol army and the potential devastation they could bring. Wary of inviting such a formidable enemy into his territory, he refused Jalal ad-Din's plea for help. Genghis Khan, after surveying the Indus and considering the challenges that lay beyond, decided not to cross. The river, with its treacherous currents and the unknown lands beyond, posed significant logistical challenges. The pursuit of Jalal ad-Din ended there, at the banks of the Indus. The Mongol army, having reached the edge of their known world, turned back. This moment marked a significant turning point, a close call that could have altered the course of history. The wrath of the sun, climate as a formidable foe. The Mongols were children of the steppes, accustomed to the harsh, dry climate of Central Asia. India's climate, on the other hand, was alien to them. The scorching heat, high humidity, and torrential monsoons would have taken a toll on the Mongol army. Their horses, bred for the steppes, would have suffered in the humid climate and been susceptible to diseases. The Mongols, used to swift campaigns, would have found their movements hampered by the monsoons. The Indian climate in many ways would have been an invisible enemy. The limits of conquest, a calculated decision. Genghis Khan's decision not to invade India was not an act of fear, it was a calculated decision based on strategic realities. The geographical barriers, the logistical challenges, the divided political landscape, the ongoing wars on other fronts, and the unfamiliar climate all contributed to his decision. Genghis Khan, despite his reputation as a ruthless conqueror, was a pragmatic leader. He understood the limits of his power and the importance of choosing his battles wisely. Invading India, at that juncture, would have been a costly gamble with uncertain outcomes. Master strategist pragmatism over ambition. The story of Genghis Khan and India teaches us that even the greatest conquerors face constraints. Despite his vast empire and unparalleled military might, Genghis Khan understood the importance of knowing his limits. It highlights the importance of pragmatism and strategic thinking in leadership. Genghis Khan's approach was not just about brute force, it was about making calculated decisions that would ensure the longevity and stability of his empire. Genghis Khan's decision demonstrates his ability to weigh risks and rewards, choosing consolidation and expansion elsewhere over a risky venture into the unknown. He recognized that a failed campaign could weaken his position and jeopardize the gains he had already made. While his military prowess is undeniable, his success stemmed from his sharp intellect and understanding of geopolitics. He surrounded himself with knowledgeable advisors and scholars, ensuring that his strategies were well-informed and multifaceted. He knew when to strike and when to hold back, a hallmark of a true strategist. This discernment allowed him to maintain control over his vast territories and avoid unnecessary conflicts that could drain his resources. His decision regarding India reveals a leader who prioritized long-term stability and the prosperity of his empire over fleeting conquests. By focusing on sustainable growth and the well-being of his people, Genghis Khan ensured that his legacy would endure for generations. This pragmatic approach not only solidified his power but also facilitated the flourishing of trade and cultural exchanges within his empire. His vision extended beyond mere conquest, it was about creating a cohesive and prosperous realm. Genghis Khan's legacy is a testament to the power of strategic foresight and pragmatic leadership. His ability to balance ambition with practicality set him apart as one of history's most effective rulers. The legacy of Genghis Khan, beyond military prowess. Genghis Khan's legacy extends beyond his military conquests. He united disparate Mongol tribes, established a legal code, promoted religious tolerance, and encouraged trade along the Silk Road. His empire, though built on conquest, fostered cultural exchange and intellectual pursuits. His decision to not invade India, often overlooked, adds another layer to his complex legacy. It demonstrates his foresight and strategic brilliance, qualities that made him more than just a conqueror, a visionary leader who shaped the course of history. Conclusion: the unconquered frontier. India, throughout history, has been a land that has fascinated and tempted many conquerors. Yet, Genghis Khan, despite reaching its doorstep, chose not to cross the threshold. His decision, a mix of strategic considerations and pragmatic choices, speaks volumes about his leadership. It reminds us that even the most ambitious dreams must sometimes bow to the realities of geography, logistics, and the ever-shifting tides of geopolitics. The Unconquered Frontier stands as a testament to the complex calculations and strategic brilliance of the oceanic ruler, Genghis Khan.